Reform UK, led by Nigel Farage, claims to speak for the underdog and the disenfranchised and aims to grab working class votes. But a quick glance at that party and its backers shows that it is financed by billionaires with their own objectives and not those of the working class and the poor. Farage himself, however much he makes himself out to be a man of the people, is from a privileged background. He was educated at one of Britain's poshest public schools, Dulwich College, and at the age of 18 became a commodities trader in the city. He was a member of the Conservative Party until 1992. Meanwhile, he calls on journalists to get out of their metropolitan bubble and relate to real people. A millionaire, he is also the highest earning MP, having made almost £1.2 million a year from his programmes on GB News, which is co-owned by the hedge fund billionaire Paul Marshall. A visit to the USA on the 17th of July, costing £32,000 after the assassination attempt on Trump, was financed by Christopher Harborne, a crypto investor based in Thailand. Richard Tice, the main payroller of Reform UK and an MP himself, and until recently Reform UK leader until being replaced by Farage, has financed Reform UK to the tune of several £1,000,000. He donated at least £500,000 during the general election. Like Farage, he is from a privileged background. He was educated at the posh Uppingham School. He is a multi-millionaire and runs the property investment firm Quidnet Capital. Another financer of Reform UK is Robin Burley, educated at Eton. He owns an elite club in Mayfair frequented by Nigel Farage and Boris Johnson. He has donated £25,000 so far to Reform UK. Another donor is Zia Yusuf, who has donated thousands of pounds. He made £31 million from selling his luxury concierge app, Velocity Black, in 2023, and is now Reform UK chairman. Richard Smith, who owns a company supplying electronic systems to the aviation industry, bunged Reform UK a sum of £50,000 in June this year. Reform UK also received £10,000 from hedge fund millionaire Crispin Odey. An investigation by the Financial Times revealed allegations of serious sexual misconduct, which he denies. Holly Valance, a former singer and actor, is married to the billionaire property developer Nick Candy. She donated £50,000 to Reform UK in June this year. Fitriana Hay, one of the biggest racehorse owners and breeders, similarly gave £50,000 to Reform UK. Previously, she had funded Liz Truss's leadership campaign in 2022. She is married to James Hay, an energy magnate owning £325 million. Ben Habib, who was ousted by Farage and Tice as deputy co-chairman of Reform UK, is another privileged property millionaire. He attended the posh public school Rugby. He eventually entered the property business after a period as a financial analyst for Lehman Brothers. He made millions as chief executive of First Property and was previously yet another funder of the Conservative Party. David Lilly gave £100,000 to Reform UK in June this year. He makes his money from investing in natural resources. He controls a series of companies that own 12,000 hectares of farmland in the Stavropol region of Russia, which produces cereals and oilseeds. He is chief executive of the investment fund Drakewood Capital. Rupert Lowe, Reform UK MP, went to the posh school Radley College and then worked in the city. He was appointed a director of Rutherford Health in 2018 and Digme Fitness in 2017. Another Reform UK MP, James Murdoch, worked in the banking sector between the early 2000s up until 2024 this year. These are the so-called real people behind Reform UK: property developers, city speculators and elite members of the establishment. Reform UK is no friend to the working class and the poor. It wants to further privatise the NHS, scrap environmental controls and raise tax thresholds. It despises the poor it claims to represent. One of its MPs, Lee Anderson, another former Tory, sneered at people using food banks and then later criticised nurses who were forced to use them, saying, quote, "They've got something wrong with their own finances." End quote. Thank you for listening, everyone. All the best.